Deep thinkers are rare, and the rarest things often come with a cost. If you think deeply, you've probably felt it. Not just difference, but distance. Not just loneliness, but a quiet pain that comes from seeing more than most people see. Psychology shows deep thinking isn't a flaw, but it can be isolating. Because deep thinkers don't just live life, they interpret it, and interpretation separates. One major reason deep thinkers are rare is cognitive depth. Most minds are built for efficiency. Psychology shows that the average person processes life quickly, socially, and practically. Deep thinkers process slowly, internally, and meaningfully. They don't accept surface explanations. They ask, why is this happening? What does it reveal? What does it mean long term? That depth is uncommon, and uncommon traits often feel lonely. Another reason deep thinkers feel pain is depth mismatch. Most social interaction happens on the surface. Small talk, routine bonding, shared distractions. Psychology shows that depth-oriented minds struggle in environments that don't match their processing level. You can be surrounded by people and still feel unseen. Not because they don't care, because they don't reach that layer. Another reason deep thinking is painful is awareness. Deep thinkers notice what others ignore: emotional shifts, hidden motives, unspoken tension. Psychology shows that heightened awareness increases cognitive load. The more you notice, the harder it is to relax. Ignorance can feel light. Awareness feels heavy. Deep thinkers carry weight that isn't visible. Another factor is emotional intensity. Deep thinkers often feel deeply. Psychology shows that emotional depth paired with cognitive depth creates strong internal experience. You don't just feel sadness briefly. You integrate it. You reflect. You extract meaning. That makes emotions last longer. Depth extends everything. Joy becomes profound. Pain becomes layered. Another reason deep thinkers feel isolated is authenticity sensitivity. Deep thinkers value what is real. Psychology shows that people who value authenticity struggle in performative environments. Many social spaces reward being light, agreeable, entertaining. Deep thinkers don't fake comfort easily, so they withdraw, not from people, from shallow connection. Another reason is mental complexity. Deep thinkers live in questions most people avoid: purpose, mortality, human behavior, identity. Psychology shows that complex inner worlds are harder to mirror socially, so deep thinkers often feel like they have nowhere to place their thoughts. That is painful, to carry depth alone. Another overlooked reason is solitude tolerance. Deep thinkers can be alone. Psychology shows that introspective minds tolerate solitude better, but solitude isn't always peace. Sometimes it's where thoughts become loudest. Deep thinkers don't fear being alone. They fear being unshared. Another reason deep thinkers are rare is that depth requires discomfort. Most people avoid deep reflection because it exposes uncertainty. Psychology shows that deep thinking often involves confronting uncomfortable truths. Deep thinkers don't escape easily. They face reality, and reality is not always gentle. Another painful truth is being misunderstood. Deep thinkers often feel like their mind is too much for others. Psychology shows that when depth isn't common, it gets mislabeled. People call you quiet, distant, overthinking. But you're not broken. You're just operating at a different resolution. Here's the truth psychology points to. Deep thinkers are rare, and rarity feels painful because it reduces resonance. But rarity is not a curse. It's a trait. Deep thinkers aren't meant to belong everywhere. They're meant to find spaces where depth is welcomed, where silence isn't awkward, where meaning is shared. So if being a deep thinker feels painful, understand this. You're not failing at life. You're carrying awareness. And awareness can feel heavy. But it is also clarity, because the minds that feel the most often understand the most. And one day, depth will stop feeling like isolation and start feeling like purpose. If you want more psychology videos that explain depth without romanticizing suffering, subscribe now. Phase 2 is about understanding mental traits, not hiding them.